I have been made to realize that I have been widely overcomplicating the implementation. Apparently, the one additional assumption just removes over 50% of the work required. So, and not only that, but for many things like having that is necessary anyway. So I'm not really losing anything. That thing being storing trade data and order book data for every single coin, at least like a month back, which requires terabytes, many terabytes of data, but it is worth it because we have like literally every single transaction, everything underlying. Plus, additionally, you can sprinkle on top like some stuff like open interest, long shorts, and so on, which are kind of difficult to pull for. Times of over like 1 month, but this doesn't take place. I mean space, so it's just together. The main idea being storing the order book in trades and assuming that for anything I'm going to be trading, this will be available. Because currently, I've spent so much time thinking about fallbacks and kind of the ways to restructure, like with like REST endpoints, clients here request like trades and like thousands at a time, and then we get there back and then request more, and we spend like fucking an hour getting few 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 tens of thousand trades back, so we can make a tiny PT chart and use some indicators for like algorithmic management of position. But even simpler is to just assume we will have it, and on like 1% of the cases, that's not going to be true. So what will we do? We will just refuse to open it, and that's it. And like 1% of the positions, worst case scenario, I just pay trips of like fees for open close and potentially some spread, but like 1% of the time. This is negligible. And for that, I can just like over 50%, like literally over 50% simplification of everything connected that I have, because now I don't have to even think about most of the methods exchanges provide, or like half the methods exchanges provide, because I can just like reconstruct the proxies and stuff. And the similar thing can be done with like some WebSockets on the account positions. So I have currently like a SDK which wraps interactions with different exchanges, and I have a bunch of stuff implemented there which actually does not have to ever be used if we're certain that for the period we will have recorded trades and book. So there's that. And kind of a similar thing with well the same execution engine too, because like I have protocols, right? The protocol is a thing that you cannot say what you want it to do. For example, we want it to get into position at best prices it can within the next 10 minutes. So it will be kind of starting with a bunch of space in between, and then as deadline approaches, we will exponentially get closer and closer to the market, and then kind of even start going above it if we're far away from acceptable fill percentage, stuff like that, for example, right? So this would be like example of one protocol, and how far away from a price we will start depends on the previous volatility of the same pair, which we calculate the expected volatility based on, right? And for that, currently, I will just make a REST request for the clients, and there are additional layer of errors with REST requests. There's additional layer of like implementation, deserializing, and the errors on this and on WebSockets I don't much, and you need both anyways in this case, because like you cannot get rid of order book. Order book must be pulled, and there is no way to get around this. There is no other way to construct order book. So you must have a WebSocket with an order book ongoing. And actually, currently I have like multiple all over the place which are getting the same data and are all can error, and in all places you need to handle those errors and do something on them, or they don't panic. And this is also a problem. And instead of all this mess, I can just assume that I always have the data available on the server, and just construct like requested traits for the given time range, and construct everything based on it. And that's it. Like no additional operations of exchanges, no additional error class, no dealing with HTTP and WebSockets at the same time. You just have established connections on which you have like additional kind of layer of assuring that the connection is stable, and you just deal with the all errors at the same level, because currently you need to deal with them at protocol level, at the exchange level, because you need to deal with orders, and then you sometimes need to like get a snapshot of all the available positions and like balances, what isolated managing each position has, and so on. You cannot do it entirely with WebSockets. You have to like there you have to also add some HTTP requests. So that just introduces additional like boundaries at which these things need to be handled. And now I can just get the data at one place and just propagate them forward, like provide them for the protocol. Some will have to rely, like just by nature of their nature, on things outside of it, like market caps. I love working with them, like adjusting information on the market cap of a coin. That's often useful, and that's not going to be a part of the exchange API. So you will have to make an HTTP request for it. But also necessarily, like you can also just collect this data. Honestly, like this is not difficult to collect. So I might actually just for like common things like that, or for even for all things that protocol rely on, I might just pre-collect them and also store on the server. That's actually not that's not crazy. Like for most things, that's not crazy. I can think of some edge cases, but I think one big thing that I'm getting out of this is not over optimizing for edge cases. So here I can just like fucking panic and just kill the entire protocol, and that's it. Like, just rely on the kind of close orders. Close orders is the thing that just closes the entire partition, and it can act like as a TP, as a stop loss, and the execution agent is the thing that controls it, because like after certain uh, size, you can't just use trigger orders. So most often it will be like doing a TVOP with different degree of aggressiveness. So for stops it will be more aggressive and more willing to not only cross the spread, but also get some slippage than for TPs, because in the other time we're not like we are much less pressed by time, so we can just spend like 10-20 minutes, depending on maybe like an hour, 2 hours, depending on the length of position. And I guess the speed of the move which we reached this point, but this is like implementation details. Point being, I now know how to simplify a lot of things, and with that, like before I was kind of stuck, because this was just making like true spaghetti, and nothing really owned those errors, and like the reminiscent of like what's it called, the microservices thing, and yeah, that's not fun. So now good news is I know that forward bad news I've spent a lot of time. Well, I guess I learned something, yeah, sure, but I have to rewrite like half the thing. Um, well, better now than later. Um, guess that's what I'm going to be doing in like next coming weeks. Let's see how fast I can get this done. But honestly, once I do get this done, like the implementation will be very clean, very clean. From what I have like planned out, this seems so much cleaner what I have right now, and like actually explainable. It's going to be actually trivial to also attach the GUI for this, which I was considering before as a separate project, but with this setup, it will just merge instantly there, which is also exciting. I really want three things. I want the in place order book, which is like with heat map order book on top of the chart. Before I was going with like a 3D order book thing, which is, if you think about it, exactly the same, you just get the fourth dimension as colors, and instead of having completely fucking different baby game instance, you just have it on the chart. So there is that, and I'm absolutely doing this. And now with new setup, it's just I almost get it for free. Like I just need to do the drawing and like a bit of GUI things, but all the data for it I have for free, which is fucking amazing. It's exactly the same as what I'm tracing. Also, I can also slap the kind of execution on top of the charting, which is useful for like moving the orders or canceling them. And second thing is I want the kind of vertical volumes. It's difficult to explain. I'll show when I have it. It's like just kind of showing the levels, important levels, which traders care about because they trade it more on there, and gives predictive. It has predictive value over like where price will lose part of momentum, if that makes sense. And the third, I want the open interest being adjusted by provided data on longs percent, which nobody does. We just it is mind, but like nobody, no one adjust open interest for percent longs. The latter is available. Many very smart people rightfully try to guess like how the longs or shorts have changed based on like Y changes and the price charts, instead of literally getting the exact data. And this is incredibly useful, but nobody does it. Everybody just guessing. I I I think I will literally be the only person with this on the market, which is quite exciting. So that's the plan. But before I get there, that will be a lot of pain. The rewrite is enormous, and I better get to it.